Welcome to Zentiva Sustainability Podcast. At Zentiva, we believe that each and every one of us can contribute to taking care of our planet and do what we can to protect it so that future generations can enjoy life as much as we do. We act today for a sustainable tomorrow, and as part of our environmental pathway, we find it important to educate and empower our associates with a series of episodes where experts explain different areas of environmental protection.
Hello everyone, my name is Ines Windisch. I'm Head of Corporate Affairs and Sustainability at Zentiva. In our today's episode of the Zentiva Sustainability Podcast, I'm happy that Thomas Freese has accepted our invitation. Thomas, welcome to Zentiva Sustainability Podcast.
Thank you.
Thomas, you are a researcher at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands, but I have heard that you are also sustainability officer teaching green chemistry, and this caught our attention. And I think as well, if I'm right, you are heavily involved in the startup scene and acting as a CEO, CTO, looking into the greener future of our planet. So maybe you can introduce yourself and your work, and then we can go into a closer discussion on green chemistry.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Thomas. Yes, indeed, I am very passionate about sustainability and green chemistry in general, and trying to make and find better solutions for our society and our lives. And yeah, therefore I started my PhD in chemistry in a group of Ben Feringa at the University of Groningen. And now after my PhD is finished, I am now still affiliated with the university, teaching green chemistry and green laboratory practices and sustainability aspects at the university in general. And from my research project, we also started now a green chemistry manufacturing company to find alternatives or provide alternative starting materials to the industry.
Thomas, this all sounds very scientific, but can you explain in simple wording what is green chemistry and what does it mean for you and why it's so important for sustainability?
Yeah, so green chemistry, you can compare it like cooking, but now you're cooking with healthier ingredients. So you try to still make the same pasta or the same food that you would like to have, but then you choose basically the bio version or the one with a healthy Nutri-Score in the stores basically. And it's about designing basically the chemicals that we need. So everything around us is made from chemicals like medicines, plastics, clothes, everything that you see around you right now. The wall is painted with a coating. So all these are made from chemicals, and mostly they are made from fossil chemicals, so fossil fuels and fossil starting materials, so oil and gas. And we are with green chemistry trying to not only replace the oil and gas with bio-based alternative or renewable ones. That is, for example, then CO2 as starting material, plastic waste as starting material, and the third would be biomass waste, so agricultural waste as starting material. So we take waste and then make the same food that you would like to make or the same chemical that you would like to make in a process that is thinking the whole life cycle. So it's safer, uses less energy, uses renewable starting materials, renewable energy, and then create no waste basically. So no CO2, but also no pollution in the lakes where you see, for example, oil in the water, these things.
So we are all learning about what you just explained, the circular economy, bringing materials back to the economy and reusing waste for different purposes as well. When you look at the products, how do you see the product design? Is it starting with the design of a product, or how can we make the materials more sustainable? What is the process that you feel is the best way to do it?
Yeah, so generally the goal is indeed to make products in a way that they are better for the people and the planet, and that comes directly at the design of the product. So you need to not just let's say have a process and then just focus on one part. You really have to have the whole value chain of your whole product cycle and think at every step, of circularity or degradability, and then tune, let's say at the molecular level already even, which molecules you rather would like to enable, for example, recyclability. So for example, a fully recyclable running shoe needs to directly incorporate only one type of plastic, for example, because then if it's only one plastic, it's easily to melt down to one plastic, and then you can recycle it to another shoe or a different shoe. But that's, so don't mix plastics and don't mix the chemistry too much, and think about the whole design.
So thanks for the shoe example. Now we can imagine something. Can you give us other examples?
Yeah, so one example that everybody sees already quite much is biodegradable packaging. So for example, for food containers, it's often the case that they are already made from seaweed or mushroom instead of plastics. And then these are directly decomposing in nature already. And so this is one example. Another from my startup is that we have some bio-based starting materials where we can, for example, make diapers for babies more sustainable, so that the plastic in there is not made from fossil materials and directly reduces the footprint from that. So diapers and packaging.
That's super interesting, actually. Thank you for that. Now, Zentiva is a producer of high quality, affordable medicines, and our regulatory environment is a bit more tricky. So we have a lot of tricky, complex constraints and barriers when we want to modify our products, and it's taking quite some time. How do you see green chemistry in the area of pharmaceuticals and medicines?
Yeah, so generally green chemistry goes hand in hand with saving costs as well, and business cases in a way, because let's say ibuprofen was able, for example, in the synthesis to cut down 6 steps of the ibuprofen synthesis, and then to 3 steps. And then you have suddenly saved, of course, on money, but then, of course, as well on toxic and chemicals and waste that you produce. So reducing generally steps and having higher efficiency in any medicine production is, of course, very, very desirable. Like, for example, sitagliptin is for diabetes and a medication. And that, for example, can be produced via enzymes as well instead of heavy metals. And then you have that process also better. However, all of this goes hand in hand with policymakers or need to have fast approval of these chemicals or these new sustainable methods, because if the approval is taking too long, then these newer methods will never see the light of the day. So there should be an incentive for these green inventions through fast approval, maybe a fast track lane even in the medicine world, that's safer and sustainable processes maybe get faster policy approval in comparison to fossil-based ones.
So Thomas, last question from my end. That still sounds very complex, and I see in my everyday work that policymakers but also other stakeholders are really afraid of talking and deep diving into such complex topics. Any tips from your end how we can all better understand the principles of circular economy, of helping the environment and protecting the planet for the future?
Yeah, so simply said, it's trying to, the whole concept of circular economy and green chemistry is about that we as humans live in one biosphere with the planet and everything around us, and that we are, as consumers, also try to not just take from the planet and us around us, but then also have like a stable setting and give back also. And all of these complex wordings and rules are just about that there's really a cycle and no waste is being produced. And for everyone who's not technical or not educated in that sense, it's really just about thinking not about yourself all the time, but think about other humans around you, but also nature, trees, forests, waters, oceans, and animals. And try to be one on the planet with everyone who's also here.
So thank you, Thomas, for being with us in today's episode of the Sustainability Podcast. Zentiva wishes you all the best for your startup work and for your research. And we hope that we can get much more people like you who are joining forces with us and working for a sustainable future.
Yeah, thanks so much for the invitation, and I'm great that you are having this initiative. That's very, very nice. Compliments for that.